All right, we will call the meeting to order. We will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Citizens' comments? None, there are none. Are there any online? All righty. Oh, now we need to do roll call.
Yeah, let's do that real quick. This is to make sure we can hear the person online and that they can hear us. So just very quickly, Wendy,
Present.
Kristen,
Here.
David G.
Here.
Tyler is not going to be here. He let us know that. Christine,
Here.
Leslie,
Here.
Patricia,
Here.
Rebecca,
Here.
Sean,
Here.
Brian,
Here.
Kelty,
Here.
Here.
online, yay. David T.
Here.
And Abigail.
Here.
And Wyatt, I believe, is in the play, if I remember correctly, so he won't be here tonight.
All right, any additions, adjustments to the agenda by the board or the superintendent?
I don't have any tonight.
Anybody else? All right. Seeing none, we'll move right along. Action items, approval of minutes of November 1st, 2023 board meeting.
I move we approve the minutes of November 1st, 2023 board meeting.
Second.
Have a motion and a second discussion. Seeing no discussion, we will call.
Wendy,
Yes.
Kristen.
Yeah.
David G,
Yes.
Christine,
Yes.
Leslie.
Yeah.
Patricia,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yeah.
Sean,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Kelty,
Yes.
Yeah.
David T,
Yes.
and Abigail.
Yes.
It passes unanimously.
Alrighty, moving right along, acceptance of teacher resignation effective June 30, 2024, high school technology integrator Lori Twist.
I move that we accept the teacher resignation effective June 30th, 2024 for high school technology integrator Lloyd. I second.
All right, have a motion and a second discussion.
Alrighty, Wendy,
Yes.
Kristen.
Yeah.
David G,
Yes.
Christine,
Yes.
Leslie,
Yes.
Patricia,
Yeah.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Kelty,
Yes.
Yeah.
David T,
Yes.
Abigail.
Yes.
So again, passes unanimously.
All right, authorization to request instructional day waivers for October 26th and 27th, 2023 from the Commissioner of the Indiana Department of Education.
I move to support the superintendent's recommendation to submit a waiver request to Commissioner Macon for October 26th and 27th, 2020. Second.
Motion and a second, discussion, Jay.
Yep. So we put the memo together to get board approval first. In order to get those days waived, we have to have a board vote first, and then there's a letter that's basically drafted. That's the same thing as the memo I gave you guys that Sean will sign. We will upload tomorrow morning if you guys approve. And then probably by Monday or Tuesday of next week, we'll have an answer on if they'll waive those days or not. They regionally, there's a lot of schools that are doing this and have already received approval. So I don't foresee any problems if you guys support that. And it'll help with snow days later. So.
Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll move to a vote.
All righty, Wendy,
Yes.
Kristen.
Yeah.
David G,
Yes.
Christine,
Yes.
Leslie,
Yes.
Patricia,
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
Sean,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
David T,
Yes.
and Abigail.
Yes.
So motion passes unanimously.
All right, moving right along. Sharing of information for board members who attended the MSMA Fall Conference.
So that's Leslie, Wendy, and Rebecca.
Yes.
How they want.
Yeah,
We talked about this.
yeah, we talked about some of it the last meeting. I don't know if folks want to add anything else.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, go ahead.
Actually.
Go ahead. Go, great.
Well, the four of us went to a lot of what would you call them? Went to the conference, and there were a lot of discussions and things to learn in the conference. And just to share some of the information that we thought we'd bring back to our boards and let you all know about what's happening in our great state of Maine with education. One of the first ones I went to was about improving attendance in schools. And they talked about a program called Count Me In, which works with the principals and the teachers to connect, monitor, and intervene with 15 strategies. And a couple principals were there. Morobe Elementary had 230 students in the school and a 71.7% chronically absent rate. And Count Me In, by the end of the year, got it down to a 30% chronic absenteeism. So the stories were really amazing. I have lots of details if you're interested in later. But at the end, they told us Count Me In costs $350 a month and can be paid with grant money if a school system ever needs the extra help, and all the wonderful ideas they have, like ice cream socials, reaching out, teachers making phone calls, and really taking it chronic absenteeism very seriously, especially for the elementary schools. Another program that I learned about was Students Empowered to End Dependency. This is called SEED at seedmaine.org. They have a 10-hour PBS documentary coming out about their journey starting. So what they do, these are kids from Maine who have become addicted to opioids and marijuana. And they come to high schools and middle schools and talk about it. Peer instruction, peer one-on-one talking to the kids. And the big issues they were talking about were big businesses making marijuana as addictive as possible. They're marketing it as a safe substance, and they're targeting youth. The potency of marijuana THC in 1960 was 0.2%. 2010, it was 10%, and now in 2020, 90% increase of THC in our marijuana. They isolate the THC molecule and make it into oil for smoking in vapes. So when we see kids vaping, it's not always tobacco, it's sometimes marijuana. I learned what zeroing is. Apparently the vape detectors in the high school bathrooms are easily fooled. These kids go in and they suck on these pipes. It's called zeroing, and they hold the vape in their lungs and they don't exhale. And zeroing makes holes in the lungs. So we're really hurting, our youth is hurting themselves trying to get around these implements. So anyway, SEED does come to schools, and they're really effective with their message. And the kids were just wonderful to listen to and hear their stories. I went to something on suicide support after something like that happens in a high school, and they give a whole bunch of wonderful tips. If you're interested to hear more, I can talk about that some other time. The one thing I really enjoyed was meeting the Department of Education. We were talking about Tender Macon earlier, and she's our commissioner, and I've met her many times over the years, and I think she's fabulous. But it was funny, there was a whole bunch of officers up there, and they wish to rebrand as a service organization and provide good customer service, meaning they want to talk to us. Now, this is a huge change. When I was on the board the first time around, they did not want to talk to us. Matter of fact, we went and talked to them, and it was about as fun as getting a tooth pulled without Novocaine. It was not fun. It was a little hostile, but I really believe them when they say they want to speak with us. They wish to strengthen public trust and the public trust of professionals. They want to fight back against negative messages about the public trust of education. And their biggest problem right now is finding quality teachers in rural Maine. I got Dan Chuda's card. He's the deputy. And he said he would love to speak to our board and answer questions and hear what we have to say about the spring NOEA test. I was just wondering to the board, how many of you have looked at that link for the test? Has anyone gone and taken it? Awesome. Just looked at it a little bit. Yeah. I encourage all of you to do it. I really think this could be an opportunity for us to get some questions answered about this new test. And because we're going to have to look at all the test results. And right now, after looking at the test, I don't know what the test results are going to mean and how to interpret it. And that's going to be one of our jobs. So this might be an opportunity we'll discuss, I mean, as a board, hopefully later, to maybe go ask some questions of our own. And if other issues come up, this might be a good time to talk to the Department of Education. So anyway, I was very encouraged by their approach and their presentation. So those were the big ones that I went to. And if anyone has any questions, I'd love to answer them or talk to you about it later.
Pat, did you want to add anything?
Well, I do, but with Pender, I asked if they would be comparing 1 year with another year, even though they were different tests. And she said, yes. To me, that doesn't show what they've learned.
So it might be good time to go ask some questions.
I think that's an excellent idea. It's some government thing they have to do for the Fed. But yes, aside from Pender, I learned so much about being a school board member at the conference. It was just enlightening to meet with the people at the table, not just our but in just talking about school boards, different school boards and what they do. I was overwhelmed a bit with the AI. I went to 3 different sessions that talked about artificial intelligence, and wow, it's kind of scary. And Dr. Daggett, first, when he introduced in the keynote, he was I didn't agree with all he said, but he was very emphatic about how we need to teach in the 21st century and not in the 20th century the way we did. And that we need to get technology up to speed in our schools and not just content. Content is important, but he said that we need to show kids how to use chat GPT and ask the questions and use it in classrooms. Now, that makes me a little worried because I teach at the university level, and I'm wondering how many of these papers are real. But he did have some points. In 2020, he said 87% of teens had driver's licenses. And I know when I was 16, I wanted to get a driver's license. But in 2022, only 56% wanted. That they're doing other things after school and nights, rather than driving around. I don't know if this is, good or bad, but that's a drastic drop. And 2 other workshops I attended continued the AI education, and there was a session on policy, which was really helpful. Broad overview of policy. And also I attended one on the laws that the legislature has passed that touch upon school boards and schools, public schools. I had no idea there were that many. You'd have to be a lawyer to keep track of all of these different changes, especially since some of them negate things that they passed before. You're nodding your head. And I went to one on communication and being transparent as the school board. And it mostly dealt with the Freedom of Education Act, which was, it was enlightening. And I'm really grateful to have the opportunity. Oh, I forgot. I won a prize.
Great.
That was at the end of the day till the bitter end. $100 gift certificate to LLB. I visited every single vendor when I found out they were prizes.
Thanks, Pat. Leslie?
I shared a little bit last time. I have more of my information in front of me now. I'm echo a lot of what Wendy and Pat are both saying. At the end of 2 days, my brain was very tired from thinking through all the things that they bring to you and crack open and get you to start thinking about. But I wanted there to be, I was looking for like, what's the next thing I could go to? Like, I didn't want it to end either. I wanted there to be more. And like I had said, because of the circumstances around those few days, there were some sessions that then weren't presented during that time, and we missed out on a few. I mentioned that helped me decide between where I would have like triple booked myself and wanted to have been 3 different places at once. But so I had also attended session that was around addressing educational leadership crises and around principal retention. That was interesting for me to hear about. And when you do have so many people across the state in this one place, from the very rural and northern Maine to folks that are up from southern Maine as well, with us beautifully sitting in between, it is a very interesting conversation to hear such very different perspectives and the different types of things that they can struggle with. Which I'll jump ahead to the commissioner session as well. There was conversation though about plans on trying to entice teachers that are from far away, that graduate and that or are retiring or might want to relocate and want to continue doing this for in a very different way or a very different light than they maybe had spent some of their career, or are coming out of schools and trying to market Maine as a place. And I believe they are running at least a pilot or an internship. Carrie, you helped me. I don't remember if you were in this one with me to remember some, but if I'm correct with what I'm saying, it's all this is based on my interpretation of what I think I heard and understood. But it's encouraging to know that they're going outside the state and they're going far away to say, like, Maine, you know, it's the way life should be. So can I please drop you in northern Maine? And here is your home, but we will find, you know, and come and live life this way. Did you know? We also need people up here, and it's more about bringing that awareness further out than being so local and trying to cast a net for qualified resources, and trying to leverage some of the other things that a relocation really can benefit from people in different stages of their life. I also had attended a session that was around supporting special education. And in that session, there was a lot of good discussion around the changing difficulty, definitely from us trying to come from the COVID period of time and trying to help people in order to recover, but the way that we're able to staff, or maybe the types of resources and how we fund different resources. Some types are available in one way that maybe outside of special education, and being under resourced and needing to leverage special education as a solution to a bit of a bigger problem, sometimes maybe inside of some of classrooms or cohorts of kids. There needs to be a better balance in how we try to work through that. That isn't always, well, if this is my only option, then I'll send all the kids in this direction because it's what's structured and available. Again, my interpretation of some of that was really interesting. Back on the artificial intelligence, that was a very big presentation for the entire Civic Center, where lots of folks were there. And I'll say that I have talked to a number of people, my peers as well, that folks feel a lot of different ways around artificial intelligence, probably not unlike how we felt around the introduction of the internet. in ways that you can immediately go to like, ooh, but what about this? And then you immediately can also go to, but also that. And there's a lot to really figure out, but there were some things about it that felt encouraging, could be figured out to be done the right way, that can help teachers to leverage the ability to have a resource to help do some of the work that just takes a lot of time, but doesn't take away from and the idea of immersive education and trying to have students consider things not in such silos, and connecting those strategies and those lessons that are more broad and across different pockets, but also talking about what types of jobs or careers in the future are becoming most popular or becoming somewhat at risk or obsolete because of artificial intelligence as well. So that was all extremely thought-provoking. When you can see that if done well, and if the infrastructure of it and the way it will be nurtured and grown, I don't know, if you will, or taught and trained, there can be some benefits to it, just similar to the internet. The moon's not made of green cheese, right? So artificial intelligence editors are potentially one of the most highest in demand up and coming career, is to at least vet the information that comes from artificial intelligence. And jobs are changing, and the way jobs that get done are changing. And if we do talk about preparing our students for what is out there in the world, we can't ignore some of what is changing and how we prepare them. That is different now than it is. Geez, other things, Maine Safe Schools Initiative, I sat through that session too. That was interesting. And then lessons learned during the construction of Maine schools. I had mentioned that South Portland, the company who had helped rebuild South Portland Middle School, had come and shared a lot of good ideas. And there was a lot of that discussion through that project that was enlightening and exciting to think about if those are things we need to consider, ways that they integrated old furniture and new design, and ways that they were able to engage community members, staff members, and students in how that project can come together and be supported, as well as a learning opportunity along the way.
Great. It sounds like there was a lot of information. Shit. Good, that can be used. And I know when it comes to teachers certification, the department has been working really hard to, and it's been like that for a long time, to become more user friendly, more customer service. I've said it some meetings where they're really working hard. It's a culture change because it's been that way for a long time. So I know the department's working really hard. Well, thank you all for attending. As I said, I did attend the chairs part, but I couldn't attend the whole conference just because it's good stuff. And I think everyone gets the emails from Maine School. Yeah. So I would encourage you to read those because it does, or at least take a look at them, because a lot of the stuff, they keep us up to date on current laws and things that are happening. There's new laws that just went into effect a couple weeks ago. So there's more stuff that we're gonna have some of our fall. I was already asked about some of the policies pretty much immediately, that how that's gonna affect our school district stuff. We'll be talking about those soon. Now I need a motion to adjourn because the video we have to do outside of the regular board.
Second.
All right, motion to adjourn. Thank you, everyone.